Perfect. Hi, everyone. My name is Bindia Patel. I'm the Executive Director of Leadership Tomorrow, and I am so happy to see you all on this call today. Thanks. If you're able in a place to turn on your camera, would love to see your beautiful faces because it's more fun to talk to y'all when I get to see you and I can see the like confused looks, and I'm no, I need to slow down. So we are here for this hour to do a virtual info session about LT's newest program that we've just absorbed, which is called Project Lead. And we I'm thrilled that you all are here, and we're also recording this so we can share this for folks who were not able to join online in real time. If you could go to the next slide. So what we're going to do is do some very quick intros to the team, give you an overview of Leadership Tomorrow and Project Lead, and then leave plenty of time for your questions and trying to get some answers to you all. If you have questions along the way, feel free to put them in the chat. If they're like easy to answer questions, we'll just answer them right there in the chat. And if they're like ones that we want to give some more voice to, we'll save them for the Q&A portion. But please, and sometimes it's just like, for me, I won't remember the question that I had 20 minutes later, so just drop it in the chat and we'll come back to you. So really quick, I'm just going to introduce to you to the team at Leadership Tomorrow. I'm going to go from where I see them on my screen. Elizabeth McDaniel is our events and program manager. For those of you who are going to be in lead, you're going to get to know Elizabeth very, very closely. Megan Rudolph is our Senior Communications and Operations Manager, and Paula Moranin is our Impact Program Manager, who sometimes sneaks in and helps with other programs too. So with that, let's go to the next slide. So these are the LT mission, vision, and values. I'm not going to read them to you. You all have seen them on this. You can see them on the screen. We can see them on our website and all the things that we talk about. I would just say in my own words, I think of Leadership Tomorrow as being all about bringing together and equipping leaders with the skills, knowledge, and connections they need to make the region better in whatever way they want to do that. So we are always looking for participants who really share and demonstrate the values that you see listed. And people that join LEAD will be joining a community of over 4,000 leaders who are working collaboratively to make our region more resilient and more equitable. So Project LEAD has a long history in this region. I think it was started in 1992 and was run by the United Way of King County, one of our very close partner organizations for over 30 years. And we're really honored that we are taking on this program it's such a strong program with this incredible group of 1,200 alumni. And it's really beloved. People who have gone through the program have really fond memories and talk a lot about what it gave them. So you'll hear from some of our alum later today. I think with that, we can go to the next slide. And this looks like a long list, and I wanted to put it right up front because we got started, because the whole point of Project Lead is really to make sure that folks who are on nonprofit boards really know their responsibilities, have a sense of the lanes they're supposed to be in, and they take them seriously. So if you see, like, this list is the 10 things that we look to nonprofit boards to do, really drive the mission, select and support the executive director or CEO, make sure the organization has adequate resources, and play this governance role. And so this is a little bit about what the board's expected to do, and the staff has a totally different role, and the executive director has a totally different role. But as you're thinking about joining Project Lead, this would be a good thing for you to first understand and get a sense of like, oh yeah, okay, that's what a board does. This is something that I'm actually interested in doing, or I'm already doing at a current board. So that you're kind of bought in before you suddenly go into this training. And then during the program, you're going to learn a lot more about each of these responsibilities. But wanted to just share that right up front. So with that, I'm going to hand it over to the fabulous Elizabeth McDaniel.
Thank you. And as Bindi mentioned, I'm the events and program manager at LT. And we're just going to talk about who participates in LT Project Lead. And so we're currently building a cohort of 40 to 45 leaders from diverse backgrounds and identities with different lived experiences to participate in our class in March in 2026. And these leaders are either serving on boards and looking for more training or looking to serve on a board for the first time. And hopefully, if you go through the program after you've completed, you'll join a nonprofit organization within 1 to 2 years from graduation. I can say I was not aware of Project Lead before I served on my first board, and it would have been extremely beneficial having gone through this program, learning from the different trainers, and just the different skill sets needed to serve on a board because I really had no idea. I thought it was just an extension of being a volunteer for an organization. But like Bindia mentioned, a lot more responsibility as a board member in that role. And so, again, who participates? Someone who's active in their community, has a passion for one or several causes, whether that be education, children and youth, or maybe the environment. You've identified your why you want to serve on a board, what impact you're hoping to have on the board and that organization, and making sure it's mission aligned for your personal values as well as the organization. And then also just understanding that you'll be working as part of a team, and that's essential. Most times you may not know the entire board organization. And so it's understanding different personalities, how to navigate maybe conflicts or differing ideas that come about, and then maintaining that curiosity and willingness to learn. And so next we can talk about the program benefits. Like what are alumni getting out of the program after they participate? And so we cover various areas. So you'll deepen your nonprofit expertise, you'll practice board leadership. And so in terms of practicing board leadership, we have mock board exercises. So each session, we're making sure we're putting our learning into action with real life relevant activities. So you're really understanding the materials that you're learning in each session. You'll understand just the overview of what nonprofits do, how they operate, understanding what bylaws are, the operations and protocols that are incorporated with serving on a board. A lot of these things I really wasn't aware of. And so the board that I served on, we were actually developing bylaws because they had never officially been adopted. So that was a great learning opportunity while I was serving in real time on a board. But going through the program, you'll have this understanding and basic knowledge before you join a board. And then strengthening your leadership skills. So we cover collaboration and conflict management. So identifying where conflict can happen, and conflict management styles that can help you as you navigate those challenges, and strategic planning, how to contribute to the strategic plan for the organization, for the organization as a strategic planner for the community. And then what is your role and responsibility and what skill sets you can bring to the organization. I think one of the greatest benefits is joining the LT network, alumni network, with Project Lead alumni. It's a vast group of knowledgeable individuals, and so you can share resources, learn from different alumni, and see what boards they've served on and learn from their experiences, and just gain that additional knowledge from the trainers and the people who've done the work before you. If you want to go to the next slide, Megan, that would be great. The program schedule. So it is a very packed, jam-packed schedule. We meet twice a week in the month of March, and each session covers a different topic. And so you're learning again what those board responsibilities are from an individual board member, and just making sure you are aware of the role that plays for your own legal and fiduciary responsibilities for yourself as well as the organization. So some of the topic areas we'll cover are fiscal management. So learning what reports are actually, financial reports are developed, how to review those reports, and then using that information to make decisions or flagging any issues that might be coming up for your organization. The board's role in advocacy, understanding the basics of a 501c3 lobbying rules, and then considering your own lived experiences and where you bring that to the public policy advocacy work that the organization might be partaking in. And then just thinking about, your personal financial contributions that might be required. Different boards require you to contribute financially on your own or find funds within your network. So understanding that responsibility that might be required of serving on your board, attending all board meetings and committee meetings. We will be practicing that by within the program itself. So making sure you're showing up to the program on time, being prepared for the session, being active and engaged. That type of commitment is also needed while you're serving on a board. So it's a great opportunity to learn from our trainers that have been facilitating. We have folks that have been with Project Lead as a trainer for 4+ years, and we have 3 that have been supporting the program for 10+ years. So a lot of dedicated professionals willing to share their experience in their nonprofit work, their board governance experience, and just their overall service to the communities. So we really appreciate the expertise that we have in the room. And then in terms of participant expectations, you're investing in yourself by participating in the program, not only with your time, but the funds for tuition. And we want to make sure, again, you're showing up on time, being engaged for all of those sessions, sharing your professional and lived experiences with the group so you all can learn from each other. And then doing the research and asking questions to figure out what organization will be a good fit for you. And so a lot of those questions you'll develop as you go through the sessions and learning about what it takes to serve on a board. As you are engaging organizations, you'll be able to ask the questions that you need answers to decide whether or not you want to serve on that particular board. And then when we talk about the fundraising piece, this was actually a new feature that alumni were asking for. They're like, we're learning about fundraising, but we're not actually practicing it within the program. And so they've incorporated this learning activity to fundraise $250 throughout the program to learn about different fundraising techniques, fine-tuning your voice and messaging when you're talking about your organization and what the funds are for. And so it's really a learning opportunity and a fun tool just to see how we can also continue to support the Project Lead program for future classes. And then the next slide, if we could go to application and tuition. We have 2 deadlines. Our first priority deadline is December 19th. So that is coming up at the end of this week. And then we have a final deadline of January 16th. We are encouraging folks to apply before that December 19th deadline, just so we can review applications and then make sure we know how much space we have available before that next deadline coming up in January. It's an online application. Once the applications are reviewed, if selected to move forward in the process, we will schedule a 15 to 20-minute phone interview, again, just to learn more about you, your experience, your reasons why for participating in the program, and then another opportunity for you to ask us questions. And in terms of the tuition, it is tiered. And so we have a range of 200 to 600 based on income. If you have any questions about the tuition or the application fee, feel free to reach out to myself and I'd be happy to answer those questions. So that's pretty much the program overview of the information we planned to share with you. Now we want to talk about our alumni experience. So we have a quote and feedback from Jenny Shen, who's a Project Lead alum from 2019, and Paula Moranin, who is a Project Lead alum of 2003. And Jenny was not able to join us today, but wanted to share a little bit about her experience. She mentioned on the slide, Project Lead gave me a strong foundation in support, governance, and helped me see myself as a board leader. I gained practical skills in fundraising and board leadership and built meaningful relationships with people I'm still in contact with today. And so after completing the program, she has served on boards as a board member, has transitioned into a board vice president, and is now serving as a board president with the International Community Health Services Foundation. So just one little bit of feedback from one of our alumni. And now I'd like to introduce Paula Moranen to kind of share your experience about going through the program and how it's changed your leadership service on boards.
Sure. It's lovely to see you all. Thank you for taking the time to do this. I want to start out by saying I loved LEAD. It was fun. It was engaging. It's always amazing to be in a room of people who are who are purposeful, like to have a sense of how they want to contribute. So I just got so much from just being in that community of people, and it really did feel like a community of people. The second thing I want to say is that I was on boards before I did the Project Lead program. I joined the boards because I loved the mission. Like that's what would get me. I'd get an invitation, and I loved the mission so much. I would do it, and then true confession, I would sit in those board meetings and be kind of confused during more than one moment. That's some of the things that were going on. For me, my Achilles heel was the organizational budget. I just didn't know, like, it didn't look like my household budget. I wasn't involved in the budget of my organization, so I was like, I have no idea what's going on. But I figured, there's other people who know what's going on, so I'll just skip this part. And they don't need me to do that. Um, and what changed for me after doing lead was lead helped me both with the helping me understand what board service was and giving me some really specific skills around it. What lead changed for me was to make sure that I understood that love of the mission is not enough, and that really what I needed to do was to be accountable, and to be accountable in two different ways. One was to play my role and not to skip out on the budget stuff because I didn't understand it. And lead gave me the training so I could lean into that part that just was so confusing for me, and it felt so much better. I was playing my role, and supporting the organization, asking the right questions, engaging in strategy discussions that were richer, because I understood how to do this thing that I had been just skipping. And then the second accountability was to understand that nonprofit boards exist sort of as the eyes and voice of the community around the things that matter in the community. So as a board person, you're in service to the organization, but you're in service to the community too, so that you can help that organization build good strategy, be good fiscal stewards, engage in sustainable practices so that they can serve the mission well and continue to serve the mission well because they can be sustainable. So that's what just Lee kind of helped me grow up as a board member. That's my language, not anybody else's, but it just helped me be better and to be more accountable to things that mattered to me in the community and that I loved. So that's what I would say about Lead. Also, the food was great.
That was amazing. Thank you, Paula.